Cosmos, and welcome to another video. Today I want to talk with you about the difference between healing and activation. So first of all, my name is Celina May. Hello and welcome back. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I invite you to do so that you don't miss out on any other videos on themes such as ascension, empowerment, and of course channeled messages from the pleiadian consciousness. So, really pleased to have you here. I just really quickly want to speak to, in this video, what the difference is between an activation and a healing, because there is a difference between the two, and I personally offer both activations and healings, and the two feel quite different. So I really want to break it down and make it easy to understand. So a healing, when you think of a cycle, like a circle or a loop, and I see it as this golden glowing loop. But when there is something that is breaking the loop so that the light can't flow in its perfect alignment so the life force can flow through, there's usually a gap. That's how I see it. So golden loop going around like this, but then there is a gap so it can't quite flow through, so it leaks out. So the energy leaks out. What healing does is that it seals this gap in the loop so that the light, golden light, can spin around just back in perfect flow. Meanwhile, activations, what they do is they are expanding. They're like bringing that flower into blossoming. They're like that life force juice, that water after a long time of drought that brings everything back to life, that awakens the seeds that were already there but just needed to be nourished, and is really allowing things to grow, to flourish, and so on and so forth. So that just is a general differentiation between the two. Now healing can look like subconscious healing, healing beliefs, healing trauma, healing past wounds, healing maybe a way of like past life regressions even as healing, just because we're sealing those things that feel a little bit icky or just not quite in flow. Whereas in an activation, and this can be something like an energy imprint, like light codes imprinted in your aura, or it could look like something as in like a soul memory, or some truth is being spoken through words, like in a reading for instance, and so there's a soul memory. Like for instance, when someone tells you you're a star origin, then you start remembering and you might start to channel other beings, or someone tells you that you are a channel and then you start channeling. Those types of things, it's more so that it's very instant, and in its energy it's a little bit smaller but then grows bigger, if that makes sense. So it's like a seed that is being watered so the rest can just fall into place and grow. Another differentiation would be like activating dormant DNA, for instance. So things that were already within you but that just needed to receive a certain trigger on the outside so that internally you could start shifting, could start embodying your highest and truest self. I also want to say that oftentimes those activations don't happen on a conscious level. That is because it goes beyond that. Whereas in a healing, we can still process with our mind, although a lot of the healing occurs either subconsciously or in the quantum, for instance. We can't really grasp that with our minds either, but we can still kind of explain. In an activation, it just happens. It just happens in the moment, in the instant, and it just feels like, whoa, I'm a new person. Why didn't I feel like this before? It is quite unexplainable, really, because oftentimes I hear this from my clients, that they just feel lighter, or they feel more in alignment, or they feel like their connection to their guides has become stronger. Maybe they start also connecting to the pleiadians and those types of things. So where it really is just an instant moment, like a hit that just flows and grows. Whereas in a healing, it usually is a process of something that we have been aware of before. And in activation, oftentimes we are not aware of what needs to be activated. We just know that something is there that we're meant to step into, and needing to have that trigger from the outside, which, by the way, can be just someone else's presence. So this, again, I say this often in my sessions, it's not necessarily what we do, it's just the fact that we are there and that they can be in my energy that then activates something within them, because I may carry a certain code that is also meant to be integrated for them, and through that reflection they remember, and then they adjust to that frequency and integrate it and start embodying it. And in a healing, it is a little bit more I want to say it's a little bit older. Usually it's something that we've already been aware of, or something that comes up consciously to the surface that then we talk about, and that then gets to be integrated. And then of course we feel also different about it. We feel maybe lighter about it, we feel relieved from it, we think differently about it, we feel maybe that we're more distanced from it and we don't feel that block anymore. But it does come from more of a conscious perspective, whereas an activation is just something where we really need to learn to surrender and to open our minds and to think beyond what is possible, what we think is possible, right? So really expand our own mind so that we can be receptive to that. And the healing, especially throughout these days, it's become really a buzzword, if you want. So we all know that we all have healing to do, and so we can have a bit more of a conscious approach. So one thing is not better than the other, it's just that they're both different. I want to say that an activation is more so there to initiate you into your soul blueprint, into your soul print, so to say, whereas a healing is to go back to something that happened in the past, so to say, that is blocking you, holding you back from embodying something in the future. So for instance, you might have received an activation and there is like something coming through, for instance, the example of you start channeling, but then there is a wound around being maybe a witch or a healer in a past life, and then that would hold you back from actually going out there and embodying it. So that part would then need the conscious integration and healing. And it also can, by the way, happen in an instant. It does not have to take 2 years or 2 months or 2 sessions or 4 sessions or whatever. It can be now, because it can work in the quantum field, right? So that is healing, and then the activation is just activating gifts or activating knowings, activating truth within you. And with that, really initiating into your, like I like to say, hashtag original frequency and your soul's blueprint, so you can live out your purpose in life, and also the soul experience that you signed up for, with grace and joy and strength. Right. All right, my dear, so that was just a quick video today about the difference between healing and activation. I hope this brings some clarity, and I, as always, would love to hear how it resonated. Please feel free to like this video if you like this message, and then of course subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, so that we can stay in touch and you get messages or notifications when a new video comes out and all of that. So that would be just lovely, and I just love to feel you in this space. It's really so sweet to see this community growing, and I'm sending you an abundance of love. If ever you want to inquire about sessions, just look into the link below. I offer readings and one-on-one sessions apart from my longer term program, so please feel free to look into that, and I'm sending you all the love, really. Okay, bye.